Hi guys, welcome to our movie recap. Today, we are going to recap a film from the year 1997 titled The Fifth Element. Before we start the recap, don't forget to like and subscribe for more movie recaps. The movie opens in the year 1914 in Egypt. Professor Piccoli and his apprentice Billy are investigating the ruins of an Egyptian temple. Piccoli is on the verge of discovering an ancient prophecy and interprets the writings on the walls. It speaks of a great evil that will come in 5,000 years, unleashing from a black hole and causing chaos and death. The only thing that can stop it is a weapon consisting of the four elements: water, fire, earth, and air, and the fifth element, a perfect being. While working, the two are visited by a priest who offers them poisoned water, but Piccoli refuses and drinks wine. Just then, a giant spaceship lands beside the pyramid, and robotic aliens emerge from it. Everyone is in shock, but it is revealed that the priest knows them, and he tells them that Piccoli is about to discover everything. The alien race known as the Mondo Shawans reveal that the priest is their human contact from Earth and the protector of the stones, which hold the elements. They tell the priest that they came here to take the stones and the fifth element because war is coming and it's no longer safe on Earth. The priest asks them what to do if evil arises again, but they tell him that they will come back when evil arises in 300 years. As the aliens get ready to leave, Billy is scared and confronts them with a gun. The priest tries to stop him, but Billy shoots the gun and the alien leader gets locked in the secret room. The other aliens leave and the priest is given a key. As they leave, the priest promises to pass his knowledge and the key until they return. Fast forward 300 years later, humanity has advanced in technology and has become a spacefaring civilization. We see a military spaceship traveling to a giant fireball that has been eating asteroids and getting bigger. The military general advises the president to shoot the giant fireball, and the president agrees. Just before they do it, a priest named Cornelius intervenes and tells the president that shooting it will only make it stronger. He tells them that the only way to destroy it is using the fifth element. The president is not interested in what the priest has to say and proceeds to shoot it anyway. Just as the priest said, the fireball absorbs the missiles and hurls them back at the military ship, destroying it instantly. Back on Earth, Corbin Dallas is a divorced ex-soldier who is now working as a taxi driver. He gets a call from his friend, and they plan to meet up that night. As he is leaving his house, a mugger tries to steal from him, but Corbin takes the gun away from him and puts it towards his collection at home. Back in the president's office, Cornelius explains his theory in detail and convinces the president to allow the Mondo Shawans, who are carrying the elements, into their territory. On their way to Earth, the Mondo Shawans are attacked by a group of rogue aliens called the Mangalores. The Mangalores manage to take out the ship and take the box containing the elements. The Mangalores contact their human conspirator, Zorg, who is working for the Great Evil, and they agree to meet at his factory. The military visits the crash site and manages to retrieve a surviving hand from the Mondo Shawans and take it to their research lab. In a recovery chamber, scientists reconstruct the hand's DNA. The scientists marvel at the DNA and declare it to be a perfect being. After a quick reconstruction process, the chamber reveals a naked woman lying on the table. The woman wakes up and is shocked to find herself trapped inside the glass chamber, and she cries out in an ancient language. One of the generals approaches her and taunts her through the protective glass, but she easily breaks it and knocks him out. Seeking a way out, she breaks through the walls and escapes through the vents. She soon finds herself at the top of the building and jumps off to escape the police, where she lands right on top of Corbin's flying cab. Corbin turns around to see what's going on, and he instantly feels attracted to her. The police approach him and ask him to hand her over, but he decides to help her and drives his taxi through the alleys and manages to evade them. The woman introduces herself as Lilo and asks him to take her to the priest. Corbin tracks down Cornelius and takes Lilo with him. Cornelius sees the elemental marks on her arm and faints when he realizes that she's the fifth element. Not wanting to waste time, he gets his assistant David and they prepare to take Lilo to the temple. Meanwhile, Corbin glances at a sleeping Lilo and kisses her, only to be met by her gun. He quickly apologizes and he gets escorted out by Cornelius. Lilo learns 5,000 years worth of history through Cornelius' computer and tells him that the stones have been stolen, but she knows exactly where they are. At the same time, Zorg meets up with the Mangalores and their leader, Anat. Zorg trades the stones for new weapons, but when Anat hands over the box, it's empty. Cornelius then learns that the Mando Shawans gave the stones to someone they could trust, and Lilo is supposed to contact that person. Later that night, Zorg's men abduct Cornelius and bring him to his office. Zorg asks Cornelius to tell him where the stones are, and threatens to kill him. But while Cornelius is talking, he starts choking, and Zorg decides to spare his life and lets him go free. Meanwhile, the president learns that the stones are with a diva named Plava Laguna, who will be performing at a charity event at the Floshten Paradise, which is located in a planet that is very secure. He orders his general to find the best man for the job, which in this case is Corbin. The soldiers manage to track down Corbin at his apartment, and they give him 2 contest tickets that will let him get into Floshten Paradise. Just as he is negotiating with the general, Lilo comes knocking at his door. Corbin, not wanting her to see him talking with the military, convinces them to hide in his fridge. He lets Lilo in, but Cornelius is with her, and he threatens him with a gun and demands him to give him the tickets. Just then, the police swarm the building looking for Corbin, but Corbin has changed his location and the police arrest the wrong guy. Corbin then decides to take Lilo with him and retrieve the stones himself. But Cornelius doesn't trust him and hits him on the back of his head and knocks him out. He then steals the tickets and leaves. Lilo and Cornelius arrive at the airport with David, who acquired fake passports. Just as they're about to check in, Corbin arrives and takes the ticket from David. David then runs to Cornelius and tells him what happened. Cornelius then gives him the key and tells him to prepare the temple while he goes after the other 2. Corbin and Lilo enter the plane, but Corbin gets taken away to meet with a show host named Ruby. Meanwhile, Zorg talks with Mr. Shadow, the dark entity that lives inside the fireball. Mr. Shadow orders Zorg to get the stones himself, and if he fails, he will be eliminated. The next morning, Corbin wakes up to find Lilo missing. Lilo has managed to track down Plava Laguna, and she is told to meet up after the concert. The concert starts shortly after, and it is revealed that Plava Laguna is a blue alien with a beautiful voice. Corbin is still stuck with Ruby as he is doing his show, but he also gets to attend the concert. Meanwhile, a group of Mangalores invade the diva's room to take a box, but Lilo intervenes and she fights them off. She manages to take them out, but before she can leave, she gets ambushed by Zorg, and he manages to injure her and steals the box. He then plants a bomb before leaving. Just as the concert is about to end, the Mangalores invade the stage and open fire on everyone. One of them shoots Plava Laguna, and she collapses in Corbin's arms, who then hides her under the chairs. But she is fatally injured and reveals to him that the elemental stones are inside her body. Corbin opens Plava Laguna's wounds and retrieves the stones. An epic gunfight ensues between Corbin and the invaders. After the intense shootout, Corbin wins after he manages to take out the leader, as the other invaders start running away. With the hotel back under the humans' control, Corbin manages to track down an unconscious Lilo at the diva's room. Cornelius and Ruby follow him and discover the bomb. As the alarms go off, everyone is immediately evacuated as Corbin and the crew find Zorg's ship empty. It turns out Zorg has returned to the diva's room as soon as he figured out that the stones were not in the box. Zorg disables the bomb as it reaches 5 seconds, but then the bomb reactivates and blows up, killing Zorg in the process. Corbin, Lilo, Cornelius, and Ruby safely escape through the stolen ship, and they start making their way to Egypt. Lilo regains consciousness and talks to Corbin about the strangeness of humans. They then share an intimate moment, and Corbin can't help but feel more than attracted to her. It was about time. Good for them. Meanwhile, the fireball has picked up its pace and is racing towards Earth with dangerous speed. The president calls Corbin and informs him that they only have 2 hours before the Earth is completely destroyed by the fireball. Back at the ship, Lilo studies human history, and she learns about the violent history of wars between humans. She is disgusted and disappointed. She also feels that maybe humans don't deserve to be saved. The group lands in the desert and is met by David, who takes them to the temple's center. Corbin carries Lilo and places her in the center table. With little time left, the group tries to figure out a way to activate the weapon. They match the stones to their respective places, but have no idea how to open them. Corbin tries to wake Lilo up and asks her how to open the stones, but she can only give a cryptic message in her dazed state. There are only 3 minutes left until the end of humanity, and we see David standing in front of his stone feeling scared. He lets out a sigh, and suddenly his stone moves. As he is breathing, he accidentally notices that his breath is triggering the stone to move. Corbin then figures out that they must initiate the elements. He blows air on the air stone, and a golden powder comes out of it. David then runs to the earth stone and puts sand onto it, which brings out the earth power. Next, Cornelius wipes his sweat onto the water stone, which also works. Finally, Corbin lights a match and activates the fire stone. Corbin then goes back to Lilo and wakes her up. He asks her to save them, but she says that there is no use in saving the world when there is nothing to live for. Corbin then tells her that there are things worth saving, like love. Corbin then confesses his love for her, and the two kiss. And what a better time to kiss than right before the end of the world. At that moment, 4 beams of light erupt from the stones and hit Lilo, activating the ultimate weapon. A massive ray of light then comes out of her and shoots directly at the fireball and destroys it. Humanity is saved, and we see Corbin holding an exhausted Lilo in his arms as they are celebrated as heroes. Sometime later, the president comes to visit them in the lab, but we see them preoccupied, making love in the recovery chamber. And as the movie ends, the two declare their love for each other. One might say that the moral of the story is that no matter how selfish humans are and how much we harm each other, love is the ultimate thing we should fight for. And that aliens are suckers for human love stories. Thank you all for watching, and see you in the next video.